There we go. Look who's joined us. Even he thinks it's too early this morning. So he came charging back in to jump on my lap and get some extra rest and comfort and relaxation with us. He really likes you guys, by the way. He knows all of you by name. He knows who's in class. So Looney says hi. By the way, we're in our new corner. Took a while to work it out in my mind, but these things take time, right? So at least there's a little better lighting and a little better depth of field and et cetera, as I try to get a little bit better at what I do every single day as we trudge the road of happy destiny. And keeping that in mind, the topic today it's another one of those damn Beatitudes. And there are 8 of them. And on the surface, I cannot tell you how much I utterly disregarded them and never even heard them. And if I did hear them, they made 0 sense to me until God Love Source sent me a spiritual teacher that unlocked their deeper meanings. And I think all of us come across teachers and teachings and books and such that unlock these things for us. They open up vista after vista of understanding. And this 8th Beatitude is certainly one of the most challenging. It's one of the most shocking. It's one of the most controversial. And I think it's one of the ones that, when it is unlocked, offers exceptional strength and comfort and wisdom as we move through it. So I think humans from all spiritual angles, when this is spiritually unlocked, even though it comes from a particular branch of a religion, when this truth is sufficiently unlocked, it offers exceptional wisdom to us. And it goes like this. Boy, does this one have to be unlocked, because if this one's misinterpreted, it leads to the world right now. But anyway, here it says this: Blessed are they which are persecuted, not like purr like cat. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. A what? And then a couple of sentences of explanation. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Okay, off we go. Isn't it strange that while so much of spirituality and religion is designed to say that the result of the religion and the spirituality is to bring about an overall and generalized experience of peace and harmony within oneself and within everyone else, that this one says, no, actually, you're quite blessed, fortunate, when you are undergoing the persecutions, when you're being reviled. Wow. It's just entirely counter. It's good, it's fortunate when I'm being persecuted, but the spiritual key for this one that was unlocked for me by a great teacher for me that I was blessed and fortunate to come across is that in our spiritual life, generally the persecutions, they start on the outside and then they keep going deeper until they reach us on the inside of ourselves. In other words, most persecutions begin on the outside. Now we have the story of human history and the wars of religion and the wars of ideology and theocracies and all that messy stuff. We have Joan of Arc. We have all the people who are being burned at the stake. So religions have been at this for a while, and quite certain that Joan of Arc was an amazing soul, and she suffered the persecutions of the external people around her. But now in this quote unquote modern age, there's not a lot of burning at the stake going on, generally speaking. And most of the persecutions, as this great teacher taught me, Most of our persecutions are on the inside. And this now is the voice inside of our head that's constantly persecuting and reviling me. In other words, strange as it may sound, but as I'm sure that you can relate, you have a voice or a critic or a demon or an evil on the inside who is continuously persecuting you and saying all manner of evil and falseness about you. Can you relate? Self-loathing, lack of worth. These persecutions go on with greed, lust, gluttony, sloth, etc., etc. So when we're undergoing the trials and tribulations, the veritable inquisition of our own internal persecutions, because not many of us are being really stridently persecuted from the outside. Maybe in very rare, limited cases, but most of us have to, if we're dealing with anything, we're dealing with inner persecutions. But this beatitude says in no uncertain terms that we are blessed when we are going through that. Why is that the case? It even goes on to say when we're being persecuted that we have, theirs is the kingdom of heaven. How can you be being persecuted in one moment and have heaven in the same moment? There's the rub. There's the magic of the beatitude when it's unlocked, or at least when it was unlocked for me, is that last week we talked about warfare, and these persecutions are what we face here on earth. And all the prophets, it says, everybody who ever moves up the scale of consciousness, every single one of us that's climbing Jacob's ladder, so to speak, meets these persecutions. And everyone that's ever overcome, everyone that's ever reached the kingdom of heaven in consciousness, no one's been immune to these persecutions. So when we recognize really what's going on, it's the battle, it's the warfare between our higher self and our lower self. And no one who's involved in the spiritual game, no one who practices true religion, no one who exercises the absolutes of metaphysical truth is immune from these persecutions. Utterly impossible. That's what it says in this beatitude. Anybody that's practicing a brand of spirituality or religion that somehow seems to be sanitized and scrubbed of these internal persecutions generally is a false prophet and a false teacher. And when we recognize that we're all going through this, and you're going through this, and the people that I don't like are going through it, that we're all suffering these persecutions, these battles between our higher and our lower self, and that we're blessed when we're going through this because these battles must be fought. And if they're not being fought and they're going on inside of us, then they're really discoloring our entire life. So in fact, and in truth, and in spirit, and no doubt about it, anytime that we're going through these persecutions of self, we are most blessed, we are most fortunate. And of course, what does this provide? It doesn't bring us to heaven immediately. It says theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Obviously, it means progress, not perfection. Actually, what it means is progress, then perfection. But as we fight through these persecutions of self, we are most blessed. And when we remember that, even though the persecutions may continue and they may become louder and more unpleasant, we shall overcome. So have a blessed day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.